Hey guys, this is Rob from RN Commodity Trading Advisors. Just wanted to take a look at a slingshot idea that came across today that was a supplemental trade. The reason why I wanted to take a look at this today is because my trade plan did not come through in today's trading because last night I was looking for euro weakness and some USD strength, so nothing came across. But when I looked this morning, I wake up at 5 in the morning or so. This chart actually starts at 5:10 because this is a daily. I'll show you that in a second. But when I woke up this morning, the only thing that was really good was on the heat map was the Swiss weakness. So what you do with the Swiss weakness, at that time there really wasn't anything that I could play strong against it. So the only thing that had a little bit of strength at that time around 5 o'clock this morning was the pound. So when you take a look at the pound Swiss, the first thing you want to do is take a look at a daily and find, here's your fresh cross here. This was the resistance. Now, this wasn't here because this is today's trading day. I'm doing this after the trading day. So it was only, this is where we opened up. So what you want to do, here's your fresh cross. You want to take a look at the resistance. So that's the first line that you look at here. So that's your long-term resistance on a daily. Then what I did for my entry is I went to a 5-minute. And when you look at the 5-minute, this is about 5:10 in the morning. This is the first portion. Now remember, our day, this is later in the day. Our day only goes up to 11 Eastern for me is my trading. So that's right here. At 5 o'clock this morning, what happened is roughly around 7 o'clock today, you'll notice we got a fresh cross. So what I would do is draw a resistance line, because when you get a fresh cross, what happens when these things converge, you've got to start noticing the resistances and the supports at that time, because that's what you're looking for to break. Now, we were looking for Swiss weakness because the only thing that's going to move this is some Swiss weakness, which we had on the heat map, or pound strength. There was very little pound strength at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, you'll notice that at 7:35, right here, it actually did break. So what you would do is go ahead and put your order in as it breaks your resistance line. So now it got in a little above, like let's say 1.5 thousand. Let's say that, and then what you do is you take a look for the last couple hours, you put your stop below there. This was about 32 to 35 pips, so if you put a 45 pip stop on this, you'd be fine. You had 93 pips to your target, which is good because when you do your homework tonight, you'll notice above this target there is lots more room to go above there. But you know, we were risking 45 to 90, that's only really 2 to 1. Normally you want to look for 3 to 1, but there is more upside potential to this. So that's why if you wanted to consider trading it, you could. Now, once you get in, now you could look at a little later in the day, it gave us another consolidation for another entry. So even if you did miss that one, remember to look at your chart patterns. There's a lesson on chart patterns about consolidations. You want to learn, this isn't a pennant, but you want to learn pennants. You want to learn all the different types of consolidations that you see in the market. Triangles or, oscillations up and down. So make sure you read that chart patterns lesson. But this right here, you'll notice we have a triangle coming in here. That's more like, this is really more of just a little consolidation. But when you see your line starting to converge, remember what I said. You want to start looking at your resistances and your supports again. Because what you could have done is, as you got this fresh cross and then it broke this resistance here, that could have been another entry. Now, this would have been a little closer to here, but I'm just giving you an idea of, what we're doing is taking a look at a long-term chart, the daily, to find this number up here on the daily, That's how we got the 5100. Then you go down to a 5-minute to look at some entry points. And this entry point I put on this fresh cross here, I put this at the resistance on this consolidation and fresh cross. And then all I did was wait for that to break. Once it broke, I took the entry, put the stop outside where it's been trading for the last couple of hours, and then make sure you got enough headroom. You know, this had about 90 pips headroom. But I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and show you what you could be doing for a heat map. So remember, if you're going to be doing what they call a supplemental trade off the heat map, this one only had Swiss weakness. But what you want to do is when you only have one side, we only had Swiss weakness. So what I did at that time is I just sort of looked to see what was strong at that point. That actually turned out to be pretty lucky because later on in the day, around 10 o'clock, the pound Swiss really did start turning out where we started getting some pound strength too. So it turned out to be a good one, but that was a little later in the day. But this right here, normally what you want to do is then you just look across, you know, what's the one you want to play. If we have Swiss weakness, look at what you have that's the best strength against it. Pound was the only thing. Everything else was mixed this morning. So that's the first step. The thing that you really want to look for is something that has strength and weakness. So one side is strong, the other side is weak. Because remember, the reason why I played this with the Swiss weakness is because the only thing that's going to move this pound Swiss pair is if the Swiss gets weak or if the pound gets strong. So that's why I played this on the Swiss weakness. That was really nice on the heat map. So I looked, my first step was I looked for long-term resistance. Long-term resistance was around 5100. That's where you got your long-term resistance. Then you look at on a 5 or a 15 or something lower that's easily recognizable. This was a 5-minute. I saw a nice consolidation here. So when you see this consolidation, you want to look at your resistance and support areas. I put a line at the resistance area, knowing that once this traded above this resistance area, that I could get in. So I could get in. Once it gets there, you put your stop outside, and then you are off to the races. Hopefully this helps. Take a couple of minutes. Go ahead and write down if anything here helped. Make sure you put it in your trading plan for tomorrow so you're not making the same mistakes. If it's okay to make a mistake once, but make sure you write them in your trading plan for the next day to make sure that you're not making the same trading mistakes tomorrow. So hopefully this helps out a lot, and everyone have a good trading day tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.